2 days ago, the greatest pastor I have personally ever known, Pastor Scott Harris, passed away. He had a lot of health complications, particularly leukemia, and it was because of leukemia that brought him away from the missions field to go to Canada. I'm in Hong Kong right now, actually, but to go to Canada and to minister to Chinese churches there, but also have the resources to maintain his health. And even in the pandemic, I remember Pastor Scott was speaking to me and even asked if I would do the memorial service, and because his health was not doing well and he was in great pain. And God gave him extra years, and that's kind of how I see it. I want to do this video again to honor Pastor Scott because of his personal example to so many believers, and especially to me. First, he in his life did not collect much. To my knowledge, I don't think he and his wife owned any property, but he was generous. I recall several times when he would guest speak at churches and he would sign the honorarium as a donation and tithe back to the church. I've seen him do that so many times, not to mention his personal generosity to me, and especially once we had our 2 kids, just giving us red pocket, as a Chinese tradition and things like that, and many gifts, just freely giving. And I'm sure he would do that to many other brothers and sisters based on his love, he and his wife's love for them. Also, they didn't have any of their own biological children, but I am certain, and especially in my own personal relationship with him, I am like a spiritual child. He treated me like his son, and he was more of a father to me, something that I needed ever since in my early 20s when I met him, 21 actually. And I'm sure that he's a spiritual father to many. And so even though he didn't accumulate much in terms of materials and wealth, property, nor even physical children, but his legacy lives on through the lives that he has touched, both non-Christians that have come to know the Lord, especially among the Chinese people, and believers that have been strengthened in their faith, walk the path of holiness at his example and his encouragement and correction and prayers, but also to be equipped for another generation of ministry. I think of David in the book of Acts, how he is described, King David, that he accomplished the purpose of God in his generation and then fell asleep with his fathers. And so it is for us that we need to accomplish the purpose of God in our generation, not to live selfishly and in the busyness of life and then die without accomplishing much for the Lord. Particularly, I have this thought because in Hong Kong, things are so busy that you just kind of live your own life and every day is kind of surviving, and you're just mainly living for yourself rather than for the Lord, rather than for a greater purpose, rather than for the sake of the lost souls of people that need the gospel.